working as a scientist in CSIR-IITR, that is Indian Institute of Toxicology Research. And if I start my journey as a kid, like I'm born and brought up in Lucknow, and my mother is my greatest influencer. I can say that she used to work in a pharmaceutical company called as UPDPL, that is Uttar Pradesh Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Limited. So once I got a chance to visit her office, and she just introduced that this is this person, this is that person. And when I entered the chemistry lab, so as a kid, when you go to these places and you see colorful chemicals and something different, so I was so much fascinated about those things, that people wearing lab coat and they just running around, and I felt a different world there. So I can say the earliest passion for chemistry began from there. Then after that, just life goes on, and I did my graduation from VIT University, Vellore. I did BTech Biotech over there, and my faculties over there, they shaped the basic foundation of chemistry. And I was fortunate enough that we had some projects, ongoing projects, so I was very much involved in research. So there I got the chance to explore myself. I just did some basic experiments, and more than theory, I just wanted to do more of practical things. So after that, when I did my PhD, that was the time that I really took interest. I can say I took chemistry seriously. Before that, I was just playing around. So when I enrolled for PhD, and I did as a toxicology. So we moved to risk mitigation techniques, how to reduce the risk. Then I really, understood the basic concepts of chemistry, and I was blown. Like, with chemistry, we can synthesize, design, fabricate different materials, and each material has their own properties. Suppose I want to put X and Y property, I can just mix and match with things. It's kind of a Lego playbook. Like with Lego, you can make different structures. Similarly, in chemistry, you put X and Y, and you have made a chemical of ABC properties. So chemistry is like playing things for me. You put a red chemical with a white chemical, and you get a. Sorry, I'm still at the childhood phase. So this excites me, and I want this excitement to be, enjoyed with other people also. Whenever we see a scientist, we hear the word science or scientist, we always feel that it will be a boring life or something, or very stressful life. But believe me, I can say that my life is very enjoyable. I enjoy working here, I enjoy being in my lab, I enjoy being in my team. So that is how this world is for me. So not much have changed for me from the childhood to here. And in this playful event, I became from Miss to Doctor. Yes, and for my professional journey, I can say after my PhD, I was working as a research scientist, as a Maria Zambrano Fellow in Spain. And there I got the global exposure of chemistry and biological interaction of nanomaterials. So this instilled, a confidence in me that the chemistry, what we are doing, can actually impact the world, and it can have a positive, outcome of this, that can be used for our future generations to come. Yes. So I was in class third or fourth, I think, when I visited her office. That was my first memory of exposure to a lab. And I regard my mother and father to be, they have instilled so much values in me, and they regard education so much, because I come from a very small or a conservative family. I can say that my relatives, they were not very much, confident about a girl's education, or giving the freedom, I can say. So my father and mother, they had faith in me, and they put education first. They were not very, I don't come from a well to do family, we had some financial constraint, but they always put the education for me and my sister. I have an elder sister. So for us, they always put the education first, that the girls should be educated, they should be independent, they should be financially stable. So these things, the values which they gave me. And my mother, she was a working woman, and she used to work, some 8 or 10 odd hours. And I was so much inspired from her, that she was a true manager. She managed the house well. She managed two very naughty kids, and with that she managed her office and everything, and with a smile. So I'm so much inspired by my mother, and every day I feel that I can just be like her. What all she had done with her life, and she is a great example for me. So I always look up to her. And whenever I feel that I'm stuck somewhere, or when we have some social responsibilities, so my mother is my go-to option, where I can just look up to her, and she gives me confidence that yes, just like her, I can also do it. Yes, I have very nice memories of us having dinner together. The dinner was actually an event for us, like both of my father and mother working. We only had the time to, interact with with each other during the dinner table. So at that time they would ask, okay, what you're doing, and what all the things you have, what is going on in school, and what do you want to become. And that discussion actually was very important for both of us. And when my father used to tell me that he had struggled so much, and he just came to Lucknow. He was in West Bengal earlier, and then when he came to Lucknow, he had so much of financial constraint, and he worked in some odd jobs initially. And then when he, established himself, and then little by little, so that was the inspiration for me. And yes, my sister, she is more of a friend, and I can say, like, not a friend, but she's my second mother. And you know um, just like my mother used to take care of me, and when my mother is not there, my sister becomes my mother. So she introduced me, like, I can say mother gives you some professional kind of feel, but with sister we have our own world. We used to play, we used to fight, and we used to go to the same school, so we had some common friends, and it was so much fun in the childhood. Okay, so when I was in 10th, there was obviously a discussion about PCB, PCM, and commerce and things. So, we have this mentality that either a person should be an engineer or a doctor. So once it's decided, we don't come out of that mentality. I think still it's prevailing in many of the middle class families. So once I reached at the point where there was, we have to choose the stream of science or commerce or arts. So arts, I don't think people consider, unfortunately. But there was a discussion between science and commerce, and my father, he was especially interested in science, and especially in medical. So he wanted me to become related to a medical field. His dream was that I should be somewhere related to a medical field. So even I was also interested in biology. So I discussed with them and with my teachers also, and they also supported my decision of taking biology as in 11th and 12th. So the school which I come from didn't have biology stream there. They had only maths and commerce. So I had to shift my school and also my board. I did 10th in ICSE, and then I did 12th from CBSE. So there was also a challenge of, when you change the board, something's changed, your friend circles change. So there was a dip in my studies where I was adjusting to the new environment. But slowly, with I made new friends, I made a new circle, and I was able to cope up with it. And I was able to perform good, I can say, in my plus two. So that was how they had helped me. My parents and my sister, she also took science, so she also encouraged me to take science as a career long term. But till that time, I have no idea that I will be a scientist, or I would achieve this much in chemistry or in biotechnology. So I was just, till that time, I was just going with the flow. The 10th is done, then you have to do 11th, 12th. So then I just did it. I think I got clarity only after I did my graduation. So once I did my graduation, during the process, so we are exposed to a number of fields where we have to study a lot more subjects. Then at the last, we have to do a project work, which I did from CSIR-CFTRI. I was working under Dr. Pushpa S. Murthy. She is a principal scientist over there. That time I was exposed to the CSIR system, to actually research what actual research is, and how we design a research question and how we go through it. So she was the one who introduced me to all these things, and that time I got the clarity that yes, I want to be in research. I like this field. This is something which I can spend time from morning 9 o'clock to evening, no limits. So this one I enjoyed being there, and the friends I made, the environment CFTRI got me, that was very enjoyable. It was very much encouraging and very much lively. So that time I decided I want to be in a CSIR system. I want to be in research, and I want to shape my career in this direction. Yeah, I would like to mention two, three people in this who have influenced me uh, professionally. I would like to mention my supervisors. My PhD supervisor, Dr. C. Ramalingam from VIT University, Vellore, and my co-supervisor, Dr. Devashish Mishra. So these two people are the ones where I can have long discussions on the research whenever I get stuck in my research. So they used to, ask me questions that what is that, and from that discussion, I got a new perspective that okay, whatever I may look at science from this side, but they taught me to look from a 365 degree. So these people really influenced me, and they mentored me throughout my journey. And also, I would like to mention Dr. Ravindra Vikram Singh, who is National Director, R&D from Merck India. And he is kind enough to, we still have a discussion till now, that whatever research I'm doing, if I'm stuck in something, whether it is professional or personal, so he is there, where I can just call him and discuss with him that this is the things, and he would discuss and get some solutions out of it. So that I'm lucky enough to have mentors at each stage of my life. And I would also like to mention at this stage about my husband, Shivendu Ranjan, because he belongs to the same field. So we can have some personal and professional discussion over tea, coffee, and dinner. So I think that, like Dr. Sudhamurthy said, that behind every successful woman is an understanding man. So he understands me and supports me in a way that I can just go forward. Okay. My journey started from my PhD. After my PhD, I did a short postdoc, and then I moved to Spain, where I was selected as a Maria Zambrano Fellow. This is a very reputed fellowship over there, and I was working in collaboration with 22 different institutes and 7 industries over Spain. So that gave me the exposure of working in a team. Like here, I have worked with 2 3 groups, but working there with 22 groups and managing them. So this gave me an exposure of some interpersonal relations also, because to manage the times of different people, to manage different time zone was a very hectic schedule. But as I managed between these things, and when you go to a different country, you have certain uh, perceived notions about that, and then when you step into a foreign land, your perspective changes about everything. So which is uh, kind of very motivating sometimes, because once you are in a shell, and when you come out of that shell, when you come out of your comfort zone, I think the growth happens there. So the same thing happened with me. I was a very shy girl in my in my school, and if someone sees me now, they won't be able to recognize me, I guess, because in a class of, I can say, 60 people, people may not notice me. But now I have evolved to a very different person now. And once then I moved to CSIR-IITR. I recently joined here, and the team which I have got is very supporting. They are helping me in all kinds of way, whether it is personal or professional. And with them, the discussion goes on with different things, because CSIR-IITR is also um, part of some government policies also. So it gave me a better insight of how the government is involved with the science, and how science, CSIR is involved with the government, and looking after the things. Like for example, we have a GLP facility over here. So how the industries are collaborating with CSIR, and it ultimately gives output which favors India's growth. Okay, so challenges, I can say, professional, I was able to overcome because I had very good mentors. And these professional challenges, I feel, is part and parcel of every researcher. So I can't say that this is something that very unique for me, but I feel when I talk to researchers, that sometimes they feel stuck in their research when they are not getting the results, when some personal problem comes out. So at every point of time, each person faces these problem. But for me, I can say it was a easy journey, that I had mentors who helped me to overcome these. But I feel the one challenge which is very evident, that there are very few female role models or mentors. Whenever we look up to someone, whether working in the field of biomaterials or toxicology, there are very few female researchers. So we don't get to look upon, suppose we have director, CSIR CDRI, she's a female. But if you look upon the other directors of CSIR, they are all they are all male. So we don't get many role models. And I think that a woman's achievements are underrepresented. Whenever we see a award function, we see more of male uh, getting the awards rather than females. So I think that I'm inspired by Dr. Debalina Sarkar, who is a professor at MIT, USA. So similarly, I want to be a role model for other people, for younger generation. If they can look up to me, and they take a career in science, I'll be very happy in this. So one challenge, I think it's not a challenge, I guess. When I first, I have this stage fear. So I just blabber at the stage. So I remember when I first gave an invited lecture, my hands and feet were very cold at that time, and I just, blabbered something, and I just want that talk to be finished. So from that point, I gave another lecture, then another, then another. Now I feel that I'm very confident on stage, and uh, whatever lecture or whatever invited talk I have, I have evolved from that stage to this stage where I can confidently speak with others. I can say that I was in school, so I was very shy to talk to people or talk about anything. I was a very introvert person. So, as exposure to different presentations in my PhD, then different invited lectures through my journey to research management in Spain. So, these things have evolved me, and they have instilled a confidence in me that yes, I can also be uh, you know proactive in speaking, and this lectures, and to shape me where I am today, and to take criticism also very confidently, that whenever we give a lectures, there are questions. So instead of taking a negative image from the criticism, I have learned to take positive approach, and to to go forward with a positive attitude. Yes, so I would like to add in this that when I gave my first invited lecture, so I prepared for it, I think almost for 10-15 days. And I was preparing, I was so much nervous that I have to speak in front of so many people. But then once I went on the stage, hands and feet were cold, and I just delivered the things which I have, mugged up from so many days. But at the end, there was applause, and after the lecture was over, few senior people, senior scientists, they came up to me and they appreciated me that you had a nice work, you had a nice potential, and you spoke very nicely. So those words were so much motivating that okay, yes, I can also do it. Because when you are a young researcher and you just still doing PhD, you have so much of self doubt, and whether I will be able to perform or not, whether my work is good or not, whether I'm doing best of my capabilities, whether I'm doing up to the level or not. So these things come to your mind, to every researcher. But when you get motivation from senior people that yes, you have the potential, you can do it, so these things have a very lasting impact on us. So when I heard the appreciation, I was very happy that okay, even if it was not, I didn't give up my 100%, but at least my 70% was good. So that motivated me to go to another lecture, to another lecture. So I still have the stage fear, but I am able to control it to a bit. Mhm. So, other than me getting fellowship and working in Spain and other things, I think the a big achievement for me was when I published my first paper. The first paper is very dear to every researcher. So, I published a review article, and I remember that I worked for it for 2 months, and I worked very hard for it. And when the final was accepted, so literally got tears in my eyes. And another milestone was that when I was doing my PhD, and I worked in the field of toxicology, at that time itself, I wanted to work at CSIR-IITR. Because one thing is, when I got the exposure during my dissertation about from CFTRI, I knew about the CSIR system. And as a toxicologist, I wanted to work at CSIR-IITR, and I was so determined that It is in my hometown only. I'm from Lucknow, and IITR is also in Lucknow. So I had aimed that, okay, I want to work here. I want the workplace to be here. And I think that this manifestation just came true, and I got selected here, and this is now my office. So these two milestone, I think, is very precious for me. Um, the social impact of my work is like I'm working on. Um, just give me a second. Yeah, so my work has a very big social impact. Like one of my current project is liver lobule on chip that we are fabricating in collaboration with France and one industry over here in India. So I think that will be a very big. If it's successful, we can reduce the animal experimentation. So this thing, which I think researchers from all over the world are trying to reduce animal experimentation, and they are going to alternate screening models, whether it's toxicology or drug screening models. So if we can reduce some of the animal experimentation and you know uh, provide them an alternate way of testing, so that will be impacting a lot of researchers, and ethically we will be also saving some of the animals. Apart from this, I am also working in the field of biomaterials, where one of my project is on bioresorbable stents. So if we are successful in this, then these stents can also be used in the medical field. So whatever the work, the current work is direct has direct application upon the society. So as I mentioned that I am very much involved in outreach activities also. So I interact with young researchers and school students. So I feel whenever I give a lecture on whether research topics or a motivational lecture or something like that, I feel I can see a spark in some of the students. So if I can ignite even one student, if they can be, motivated like how I motivated from my mentors, so that will be a big achievement for me. Yes. So as I was saying that I'm giving a workshop on scientific writing and research ethics. So the young researchers, they can definitely take forward from this, and they can definitely benefit from this. So in this way, I am taking this forward. Whatever the guidance, whatever the mentorship which I have received from my seniors, the appreciation, the motivation, whatever I have received, I try to give it to young researchers, to school students, to wherever possible. In my research team also, I try to inculcate more of women candidates, or try to inculcate more of inclusiveness and diversity wherever I can. So in that way, I am paying forward in the way in which I have received the things. Success for me is a very relative term. Like if you would have asked me this question in my PhD, I would have given an answer like the person who has maximum number of papers, who has maximum impact factor or things. But as I grow up, I have seen my colleagues, they cope up with different societal responsibilities. Someone had to take care of his parents, someone had to take care of his wife, his husband or something. And I feel that if a person is able to manage things, create a work life balance, is able to perform in his professional and personal things, I feel that person is successful. And if a person is not able to balance one of the things, his friends, his family, his health, career, we have to kind of juggle things, especially as a woman. As a man, I feel you can leave one thing behind and just go forward and move your career. Your family will be there. But as a woman, sometimes I feel you can't leave behind anything. You can't leave behind your career, you can't leave behind your family. Sometimes your career needs you, sometimes your uh, family needs you. So at that time, there is a very thin line between success and failure. So now I feel that there is nothing as success or failure. If you are able to manage yourself and at the end of the day you are happy, you are successful. At this point, I have stopped judging people and say that okay, this is going forward, this is going backward. This is my kind of mantra. If I'm able to help someone, if I'm able to be kind of be in their need or something, then that's life, that's my way of giving back. Failure is, for me, I think it doesn't exist, because once you have failed, try for next time. If you have failed for the next time, try for another time. Success will be there, it will be sitting in one corner, you just have to get it. Yeah. The first lesson I learned from my journey is that you have to be consistent. If you're not consistent in your journey, in your work, it won't pay back. There will be challenges, there will be uh, hurdles, there will be a lot of things, but if you're consistent in something, you will definitely get success. There is nothing stopping you. We only get the hurdles. Sometimes our fear is in the mind, it's not actually there. So if we are consistent in something, if we are deliberately trying for something very hard, it will come, it will, the success will come. You just have to wait for some time. So that, I think, which I learned from my journey. Another thing is time management. Sometimes we feel the time is very less, sometimes we feel the time is very more. We should, I know this is a very difficult thing for everyone out there, but time management is very important. You have to sometimes prioritize, like this is my career is my priority right now. Okay, for some time after that, uh, if I have submitted a proposal or submitted a paper, okay, I can relax for some time, I can take care of my health, I can take care of my family for that time. A work life balance is very important. And once uh, women have more societal responsibilities, so sometimes we can't overlook that. But a career is also important, your research team is completely dependent upon you, so that becomes your second family, you can't leave that. So you have to manage time, you have to think about your research team, your work, and your family, and your health, obviously. One message which I want to deliver to the young girls is that be fearless. Don't get into the, um, don't get the burden of responsibilities. There is always a way out. What Have confidence in yourself, and whatever you do, just give your best. That's the message. Yes, so I follow two, three mantras for a sustainable life. The first is a mindful product selection. That is, in today's society, I feel that we are consuming or we are buying things which are not required, just for the peer pressure or the advertisements and other things. So we get pressurized to buy more things that we actually don't need. So we should have a mindful purchasing technique, that okay, I require this one, so I will buy. I won't buy things just to impress someone. The second thing which I follow is minimize harmful chemical usage, because as a toxicologist, I know some chemicals or some pharmaceutical things have side effects. So wherever possible, we should minimize these things. And already there is a very much advocacy about natural things. So wherever possible, we can switch to natural things. Third is repurposing. Like if we think as a chemist, we can repurpose things. One thing can be, you know, it can be innovated to be used in some other things if it is, if it still has its lifespan. So I think these three methods are very important for everyone, and these three things can be used for a sustainable lifestyle. My effort will be to, to reduce the animal experimentation, to reduce, uh, to give more on the scientific community about different alternate models that they can use for toxicity testing or for screening models. So if I'm able to develop things like that, and it can be used by the scientific community, that I think will be a big achievement for me. So, one message which I want to, yeah, deliver for younger Nandita is be fearless. Just enjoy your life. Don't take so much of stress. Don't take so much of pressure. You will succeed at last. Okay, the thing which motivates me are my students actually. And at one point of time they are very much dependent on you, and they look upon you as their mentor, and sometimes like everything, and you just become an idol for them. So that that is the some, you can enjoy it, and sometimes it becomes a pressure also, that okay, for them I have to be a role model, or I have to, their career actually depends on me, and I have to guide them, and I have to mentor them. So these things gets me up in the morning. And obviously, as I mentioned before, that I enjoy my work. I like to play with the materials. So so these things motivate me to get up in the morning and just go for my work. For self care, I do two things. One is journaling. I have a personal diary where I write about the things which I have done, or which I want for my future self. That okay, do I need to calm down? Do I need to eat more healthy food? Do I need to plan some experiments, or plan a vacation, or anything like that? So I keep a journal with me, and I just look upon it to help me through my path. And another is I do a little bit of meditation that kind of soothes my stress levels. So these two things I do for self care. I don't remember anything like that, because as I said that my parents, my husband, and all are very much supporting. So all the time I did whatever I wanted in a good way. So I don't think I want to do, undo or redo anything. I have kind of lived my life to the fullest, and I was a very, from my childhood, I was, a bit of challenging person, that okay, if I want this, I need this to be done, and people supported me. So I feel there's not a thing that I want to redo or undo of my life. Okay, for myself, I follow this mantra that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a one step. Sometimes we are so much overwhelmed with the journey that okay, I have to do this big task or something. I feel that if we divide a big task into small tasks, and we set some milestones with deadlines for our life also, not restricted to a project proposal only, then I think we can figure out things, and it becomes very easier if we prioritize things in our life, at what time we should be doing what. So that is the mantra which I follow, that whatever it is, just start doing it. Any work, anything, will finish once you start doing it. Just take the first step. So I like reading motivational books, and I have read a couple of those. So every time I read any motivational or self-help book, that is actually, I'm not specific to one book, but each time when at different time intervals, I get this self-help books, and they motivate me to go forward. Like if I can say, at the current time I am reading the book called Atomic Habits. So that's a very nice book, and I just recommend this book for all the people out there also. So if I'm feeling low and I want some motivation or something, I have my library where I have some books, not restricted to only this self-help or motivational books. I have some fictional books or anything. So I just start reading. So I think books is something which takes you to a different world. You just enter into a different person and live their life for some time. So this is how I get motivation, and that's my, you know sometimes an escape route also. Okay, I think that is a very long list, that the things which I want to do. So I'm a bit scared of heights. So I deliberately want to do things which involve great heights. So one is bungee jumping. So, and the second is I want to be, an animator also. I have interest in drawing and sketching and telling stories. So if I can be, apart from my professional work, if I can do some animation, and for the kids especially. So this is one of my bucket list, but I don't know when I will be able to do that.